Hey, it's BoneFist, Peterborough's first real superhero, and today we're going to be talking about why I became BoneFist, a real life superhero, RLSH, and why I chose my name, BoneFist, and where this channel is going to be headed in the future, and what kind of superhero I think I am, and what kind of superhero I'm aspiring to be. So I think we'll keep it short. It might get a little jumbled, but we'll start her off. But with my origin story, isn't really anything special. I'm not Peter Parker. I'm not Batman. None of my family members got killed. Nothing tragic happened to me that caused me to push me over this point, push me to this point. I guess like most RLSH or people in general, I don't think that this is happening to push them to become a superhero. At least I don't think that's their first thought. But the way I kind of got into it was a lot of inspiration, of course, from Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2, which I think is a big part of the RLSH community, and just superhero movies, comics, that kind of ideology in general. And I think that definitely helped me a lot to come up with the ideas, the aesthetic, obviously Iron Fist, Spider-Man, Batman, stuff like that, and just working on gadgets and things like that kind of comes out of superhero stuff, and I was always kind of into that. So that's another kind of aspect I liked of it. I did get into it a little bit, thinking like I think most people do, especially the younger people, thinking it was going to be a lot more fighting and crime fighting. You jump out of the dark alleyway and stop some villain. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It really isn't. Maybe 1 in a million chance that you walk by a dark alley and something is happening in there that you could stop or report. You know what I mean? While you're patrolling. Other than that, I think it was another good portion of my inspiration came from like Hacksmith, Colin Furze, Greek Gadget Guru, people who make like inventions, gadgets, like J Laser Video, people who make gadgets and hero inspired gadgets. I like doing stuff like that too. Obviously I don't have the money and kind of intellect to get as in depth into it as they do, but I do definitely I do make some nice things. Like the plastic knuckles, the armor, various other things I've worked on but haven't showed on video, but I'll show them in the future. I think that mostly accounts for my inspiration, but a lot of it came from the period it started around was when a lot of homeless stuff started going off in Peterborough. It's been rising again, but I'm really inspired to help the homeless. I think that's a huge part, and it's on the rise again. So I want to make more videos inspiring other people to do that and kind of showing the RLSH way of doing that. So I hope I'll be able to do that soon. It's getting kind of cold up here in Canada, but we'll get to her hopefully. Maybe a winter handout of some kind would be nice. I think so anyway. Why I chose the name BoneFist? Obviously, like I said, a lot of inspiration came from Iron Fist. Makes sense, but in real life, we don't have Iron Fists. We don't have the abilities he does, or the magical realms that he can enter and leave to the different levels of Iron Fist. Kind of getting into it too deep, but it's definitely a big inspiration in terms of my design. I wanted to have the bottom opened up. On one of my other masks, I do have the tails. I do have the purple belt that goes around. It's like the karate belt. It was a white belt, painted it purple, just so it would match the suit and stuff. My idea was to kind of be of a normal or a grounded Iron Fist. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't have Iron Fist, so I'm BoneFist. Got bone. I think it's not too aggressive. It's not like Deathbringer or something like that, where it's gonna scare people, but it sounds kind of intense, but it's still a little fun. I like it. and it makes sense, you know, bone fist. My fists are bone. Uh, I think, you know, it all came together. That was my persona, that I chose, and I like it. You know, a more grounded version. The more it kind of almost how like there's the Iron Man, and then there's like the Warhammer. You know, he's a bit darker. He's a bit or the War Machine. I don't know why I said Warhammer. Sorry, War Machine. He's a bit darker, a bit more realistic in terms of like the weaponry and stuff. That's what I kind of consider myself to be in terms of compared to Iron Fist. So I mean that pretty much is why I chose the name and the suit and the way I'm going with things. What I'm going to be doing with the channel? I am going to make another future video with this, but just as a quick kind of explanation, we're gonna be doing a lot of gadget kind of building stuff. I consider myself to be kind of a middleman between like Urban Avenger, like a strict RLSH, and like the Hacksmith or J Laser video. And I think I can kind of keep an area in there where I'll be doing RLSH stuff, but also showing how to on some kind of cooler gadgets and having fun with stuff, while kind of keeping the persona. So I want you to stay tuned for that stuff. Keep an eye out. Check out the Plastic Knuckles video, and and comment what you'd like to see. Of course, if there's any cool kind of weapons or something, maybe some armor upgrades or something you need that you're thinking. Maybe you're like, I like the main piece, but I don't have any things for my arms. Maybe I can help you with that, or your legs, or your neck, or some kind of other protection. We'll work on stuff. Let me know. Let's make a community. The last kind of point where I was saying the kind of hero I consider myself to be, I'm obviously not too far into it. I do respect Scorn, but I don't want to push the boundary between me splitting. It's not just because it's a persona doesn't mean it's me leaving my body and I'm becoming this fighter of people. You know what I mean? I like to keep it a little grounded. People understand it a bit more instead of having to come off me and be like, oh, I beat the shit out of people, and then being like, oh no, I don't actually do it. That's just kind of my character. But I'm a what I mean. It's harder to explain. I think it's a bit more straightforward, especially for the RLSH movement, to just be like, I'm a hero. I'm not a vigilante. I don't take things into my own hands. I respect the law. I'm here to only assist and look out for bad things, and not take it into my own hands. Like I said, I think that pretty much sums it up. What kind of hero I am. I don't want to push the limits. Respect police, respect people. Even don't get enraged by stuff. That's what I kind of like. Being a more mellow hero. Do inspire people. Be enthusiastic, of course, especially when you're talking about all the opportunities and stuff. The fun you get to have with it. It is a lot of fun, of course, when you're doing it right. I don't think that you should be enjoying it if you're doing it the way that people do it, where they'll have like shurikens and stuff. It is cool to play with that stuff if it is legal, of course, where you are. Have fun with throwing knives or whatever, but don't take that out into the street with you. That's not a superhero. Imagine a superhero in a world that we live in. They're not going to do that. They're not going to take those weapons out into the street. If they're going to respect the law. So I think that that we should too, and that makes sense. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Anyway, I think that wraps up this kind of origin story update video of where the channel is going. I hope you liked it. Check out the other videos. If you did like it, make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment if you have anything to say. Tell me what you'd like to see in future videos, any kind of gadgets or weapons. Thanks for watching.